Welcome to my video. In this video, I will tell you the whole story of the legendary animated movie series of our childhood, the Cars series, from start to finish in detail. Now, let's move on to the video. In our first movie, we see Lightning McQueen, the main character of our series. The final match of the Piston Cup, the most important cup of the Cars universe, will be played. After an intense season, the final race has finally arrived and the race begins. The most important racers in this final are Strip Weathers, named the King, who's in his last race, Chick, who follows him in second place, and Lightning McQueen, who's an amateur but has done very good work throughout the season. McQueen is full of himself and looks down on everyone. He also has no team leader and has problems with his team. Toward the end of the race, his ego is so high that he leaves the pits immediately and doesn't change his tire. And because of this, his tires start to blow out. King and Chick Hicks try to catch up with him. At the last moment, McQueen sticks out his tongue, causing all three drivers to finish the race at the same time. Since this is the first time this has happened in the Piston Cup, one more race has to be run. So they're scheduled to race again a week later. At the end of the race, McQueen loses his team members because of his arrogant and selfish behavior. He's so blinded by popularity that he even begins to loathe Rusty, McQueen's longtime sponsor. He then goes on a road trip with his semi-truck, Mac. Meanwhile, McQueen talks to his manager and learns that Dynaco will sponsor whoever finishes first in this race, and McQueen wants that. He then refuses to let the tired Mac sleep and tells him to go on. The gang surrounds the tired Mac, causing him to fall asleep, and the tailgate opens. Lightning McQueen slides onto the road. Then the horns wake him up, and he sees a truck he recognizes as Mac and goes after it, but it is not Mac. He leaves the road and enters Route 66 highway and drives at full speed. Because of the high speed, the sheriff wakes up and chases after him. Seeing this, McQueen panics and wreaks havoc in Radiator Spring. He also broke the whole road in the middle of all this chaos. In the morning of that day, McQueen is brought to court for trial. He's brought before Doc Hudson. Doc Hudson wants him sent away immediately because he hates race cars, but his lawyer suggests that he stay and fix the road, which is then accepted. Now McQueen has to pave the road, but he doesn't want to do it and even tries to escape, but he can't because he runs out of gas, so he's forced to continue pouring asphalt. There, he also meets Mater, a jalopy tow truck driver, and they meet and slowly start to become friends. They even wake up the cow tractors and go on an adventure. Using the power of his engine, McQueen finishes the road in just over an hour, but it's too bad. He did it in a hurry, but McQueen protests and says he's finished and wants to leave. Doc makes him an offer. If he beats him in a race, he'll let him go, but if he wins, he has to redo the road. Lightning McQueen, of course, laughs at this and immediately agrees. He thinks this race is going to be a piece of cake, but he can't take a corner on the dirt, and he loses control, so he runs into the cacti and damages them. Thinking about where he made a mistake, he breaks the road and tries to rebuild it, struggling until the morning, finally managing to repair the road completely, and then he immediately tries to take the corner he couldn't take on the dirt track, but he can't. Doc comes up to him and tells him if you're going hard enough left, you'll find yourself turning right. At first McQueen says, what kind of bullshit tactic is that? But then he tries and fails again. McQueen also has a good time with Sally, the lawyer of Radiator Springs, and begins to get more accustomed to Radiator Spring. He also learns that Doc is a legendary former racer and has won many Piston Cups. However, he's now retired from racing after a terrible accident and now sees the trophies as an empty bowl. McQueen then learns that this town used to be a very busy place and everyone used to drive through it, but then the state highway is built and nobody comes here anymore, and after a long struggle, he manages to repair the whole road, and he develops a friendship with the townspeople. Thanks to McQueen, happiness comes to Radiator Springs after many years. But just days before the race, a flock of reporters descend on Radiator Springs and learn that McQueen is there. It is Doc Hudson himself who tells him this. McQueen is immediately forced to board and is forced to leave Radiator Springs before he can say goodbye. After that, all is quiet. Then race day arrives and the race begins. But Lightning McQueen's mind is still on Radiator Springs and he can't focus on the race. He even narrowly avoids going into the wall, and that's why McQueen gets demoralized and falls far behind. King and Chick even give him a lap, but McQueen sees that Doc Hudson and his friends are there, and Doc Hudson is his team leader. Lightning McQueen gets fired up and immediately manages to close the gap with his power. McQueen makes fun of Chick and this pisses him off, so Chick blows out McQueen's tire. McQueen immediately goes to Guido's side and manages to return to the track with a record. Guido surprises the spectator. Later in the race, in the final laps, Chick pushes McQueen out of the field, but McQueen uses Doc Hudson's tactic and surprises Doc Hudson, and that's how he manages to take the lead. Chick says he can't be third, causing the King to have a huge accident, and the King is crushed. Seeing this, McQueen remembers Doc's accident and immediately stops at the finish line, turns around and tries to help the king. Meanwhile, Chick becomes the champion and is overjoyed, but the whole audience's attention is on McQueen. McQueen tells the king what he heard from Doc Hudson, that a trophy is an empty bowl, emphasizing that the piston trophy is not important, and wins everyone's hearts by helping the king finish his last race. Even though McQueen does not win the Piston Cup, he gains great friendships and camaraderie on this journey. He also gains a lot of fans. Although Doc says he'll sponsor the winner, they go to McQueen, not Chick. But McQueen prefers to stay with the Rusty's sponsor he once loathed and supports them. McQueen chooses Radiator Springs as the base for the new season and makes everyone come there and help Radiator Springs.